If you're still struggling to get your strumming consistent and smooth, then this lesson will clear it all up. I'm Skeet from Skeetguitar. Let's dive straight in. Strumming in time is only a small part of good rhythm playing. So in this lesson, we're not just going to learn how to count and break down the subdivisions, though that's a very important part. We're also going to learn how to sculpt our sound, how to add rhythm and groove with our chord hand and just make your rhythm playing come alive. Now, instead of using a metronome, I've used a drum track. It's what I recommend to all of my private students. It just makes the whole exercise much more musical and less clinical. And it really helps you develop a sense of groove. To help you get the feel of this in your hands, I put together a really simple strumming exercise and a visual grid to help you along. You'll see it on screen in a moment, but if you'd like your own copy to practice along with, just leave me a comment and I'll send it to you. Hey guys, just a quick heads up. You're about to see a very short advert, and if you do watch it, it's a very easy way that you can support me in bringing you these free lessons. Think of it like dropping me a coin in my busker's case. We'll be straight back into the lesson afterwards. Thank you. So as you can see on the online grid, we have 4 lines. On the top line, we are marking all 8 beats. That's 4 downstrokes, 4 upstrokes. On line 2, we are marking just on the beat, the 1, 2, 3 and 4. Line 3 is just the off beat. So this was like a reggae beat really. So that would be 1 and. And then finally on line 4, we're starting to hit some groove there. This is a strumming pattern. You'll hear this kind of strumming pattern in things like Country Roads, Let It Be by the Beatles. So if you've seen my previous lesson about flow where we use Let It Be as the example, you could absolutely use this strumming pattern with Let It Be. It would work a treat, okay? So let's take a look at line number 1. So this is all 8 beats of the bar marked. We play that this way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So relatively straightforward. Now line number 2, where we're playing just on the beat, the 1, 2, 3 and 4. The thing to notice here is when I'm not playing the ands, I'm still marking the beat with my strumming hand. 1 and 2, 3, 4. So this is, I use a bungee analogy. If the hand goes down, it has to come up. Now, granted, it doesn't always have to clip the strings, does it? But if it goes down, it has to come up. And if you keep it in this continuous movement, you won't go out of time. This is how you play well, by marking every beat in the bar, okay? So we'll have a look at line number 3. That's just the off beat. So it's the exact reverse of what we've just done. We're still going to mark beat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 with a downward strum, but we won't hit the strings, but we'll clip them on the way back up. So that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then finally line 4, a groove, a strumming pattern. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Okay, so you see I marked that beat number 3 there, I just didn't hit the strings. I'll show you again, look, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Now that strumming pattern I use a lot, particularly it sounds great when it's fast, it just adds some real groove. I'll show you, look. And 4 and 1, 2 and 1. So what I'll do is a quick playthrough now with me just counting. I'll do it nice and slow and try to join in if you can. Coming up shortly is a playthrough with a drum track, and that will help you lock much tighter into time. I'll be there to play along as well, so don't worry about that. Okay, so after a count of 4, nice and slow, we'll start with line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and then let's jump straight back onto line 1 without stopping, okay? So after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. How did that feel, guys? Could you keep up? Don't forget you can rewind this section if you need to and just keep going over it. As I said earlier, if you leave me a comment, I can send you a copy of the downloadable grid. Perhaps it'll be a little bit easier if it's on a sheet in front of you, okay? Now that's your hands moving and you're feeling the beat, let's take it further. Because how you strum matters just as much as when you strum. We can move on to the next part, which is sculpting the sound. It's all very good and well, just hitting all 6 strings in time. Yeah, you're in time, but does it sound good? Maybe not. So, what I did here, let's just look at line 1. Line 1 is just a series of sort of gentle strums. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Notice I'm not hitting all 6 strings, okay? It's much harder to sculpt this because we are playing 8 beats in the bar. It'll get easier from this point onwards. But my advice would be to do 1 here, 2, 3, 4, you know, and just kind of don't hit all the strings. So 1 and... You'll notice 1 and then the upwards and was somewhere in the middle. 1 and 2. So that 2 was pushing through the strings. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now if I go into hitting all 6 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Which one sounds better? Okay. So when we take a bit of care to sculpt our sound, that will immediately kind of lift your rhythm playing. So let's have a look at line number 2, just on the beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is a great way to sculpt the sound. What we're going to do, like a drum kit, the kick drum, the bass drum, the low note is going on 1 and 3. So we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the 2 and 4, like a snare, a much higher pitched instrument, we're going to play our 3 or 4 high strings here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice on my 1 and 3, I'm only hitting 1 or 2 strings. I'm just literally like a bass note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now line 3, the offbeats, the reggae beat. By the same token, they are your high beats. So really, I'm only going to clip, you know, 3, 4 strings here, but at the top end. Okay? So that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now as a little bonus, I did mention earlier about muting with your chord hand and pumping rhythms with your chord hand. So if you can play a bar chord, this is very conducive to sort of reggae music, so a G bar chord. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now what's happening there is I'm actually muting my strings for most of it. And then just as I'm clipping up on those offbeats, I'm pressing in here on my chord hand and immediately releasing, making a very staccato short note. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so line number 4. 1 is going to be played on our bass note. 2 is played on the high strings. We miss 3, but we mark it with the hand. 3, there it is. And then and 4 and are all on the high strings. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. So before we jump into the play along track with the drum machine, a couple of other things that can help us with strumming. I find that scratching the rhythm out with students sometimes really helps them understand things. So let's have a look at that. In order to get a scratch sound, what we need to do is mute all of the strings. So if you place all 4 fingers just across the strings, do not press in. Now the reason I say all 4 is we're guaranteed to kind of coverage in every area now. And this is the sound we're looking for. Okay, so if we look at line 4, and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. I find that just helps us actually hear the rhythm, and we can use it to build tempo. Probably worth mentioning, you've seen by now, a bit late, I don't use a pick, guys. So if you don't use a pick, what I do is I use the back of my fingernail for my downstrokes and back of my thumbnail for the upstrokes, much the same as you would holding a pick, yeah, just down and up on it. Other things to notice when I was scratching that, my hand is really loose, my wrist is loose. I'm not strumming from my elbow or my shoulder, it's coming from the wrist and often just from the fingers here, you know, look. It's all in the wrist, isn't it? My elbow's really static, yeah? But very loose wrist. I often see people strumming here or even from the shoulder, and they hit the guitar too hard. It's never really in time. It just doesn't sound great. So everything, you know, that we bring closer to the instrument, we have much more control. So now we're going to put the drum loop on and have a little play through there. I'll do 4 cycles of all 4 lines, and make sure you join in with me, guys. So that's the foundation, guys. Now it's time to build your groove. If you want the downloadable grid, just leave a comment below and I'll send it your way. And if you're enjoying these lessons, please hit the subscribe button, hit like, and leave me a comment. I do also offer a 99p a month subscription, which gives you behind the scenes access, gives you early access to lessons and free tabs. I'm also on hand to answer some of your questions. I'm Skeet from Skeetguitar. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Wednesday with a brand new lesson.